Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Fun Size, and today we're going to be going ahead and no item running, or at least attempting to, the stages of the 8th anniversary event, and it will be stages 1 through 3 in this video because they seem kind of short, so I figured I would just put them all in one video versus making a dedicated video for each one that would last like 10 seconds. So, yeah, we're going in with no items. This is a team we're running. And let's get it. Let's do it, boys. Let's jump in. Alright, boys. The event has started. Let's see. I don't think we really have to worry about this event too much. From what I remember, it's very easy. But it's not very easy later. So, there's that. So how's everybody doing these days, you know? I mean, how do we like the new Kale and Caulifla EZA and all that good stuff? And how are we liking Kale, if for those who have pulled them or pulled her, right? And how are we feeling about Universe 6? How are we feeling about that team, boys? Huh? I'm gonna go ahead and answer that for you. It's trash. It's trash. Even with the EZA of Kale and Caulifla, I mean, that EZA was alright. It was alright, you know? But it was definitely nothing to write home about because they literally didn't change anything except for how much attack and defense that they're getting on start of turn. Like, that's boring. That's it. Like, they didn't add anything else. And I don't like how particular they are, because for them to be good, like, they're not bad. Like, they're definitely decent units now, but they are not what they were at release. They really wanted to pretty much bury this unit. Do I see them being potentially good in the future? I would say so, yes. Because if we're going to have, let's say, hypothetically, a blue zone or a green zone or something like that, right? In the future for difficult content, and a lot of those, like, heroes slash bosses are going to be like Saiyans. It's gonna be pretty big, right? So I think that it will overall be fine. I really do, because they can stack up really fast. So that in itself, the ability to just stack up really quickly, is somewhat important in today's meta. Unfortunately, though, they don't like fill the role that they would need to, because they don't allow Kefla, excuse me, not Kefla, Kale to shine. They don't, because they themselves are a slot 2 unit. Excuse me. They themselves are a slot 2 unit. So it's almost kind of pointless. Like, would you run them or would you run Kale? And you're going to run Kale, right? Because Kale's just that much better defensively. And as far as like what they actually could like contribute to the team, it's nothing really spectacular. And the fact that they have to attack so many times to actually build up their passive fully and get all the dodge chance and the key and whatever, it's just a lot. Honestly, like, the the fights that we're going to be using any of these characters in are very short. So it's kind of redundant to bring a character that needs, let's say, 6 turns. Just run with me here. 6 turns to fully build up and, do all of this great stuff, like, over 1,000,000 defense and whatever. But in the beginning, they suffer basically the same fate as Kale herself. Because if you don't have a slot 1 unit, which last time I checked, Universe 6 does not have, if you don't have a slot 1 unit, you're cooked. Like, that's it. Like, I don't care what fight it is. I don't care. Because if you can't do anything defensively viable within the first 6 turns of a fight, no, excuse me, first 4 turns, right? We'll give everybody 4 turns. If you can't be somewhat defensively viable for the first 4 turns, the card sucks. Let's just be honest, boys. Like, it's cool to have these super big attack stat numbers. Like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love that, for example, these 8th anniversary LRs, they jump up over 10 million because they're that ridiculous. But remember, they're good because not only are they offensively strong, but then they're also defensively strong. Whether it be damage reduction, the ability to stack rather quickly, right? Like Kayle and Khalifa, don't get me wrong, they can stack pretty quick, but it's not that quick. It's not that quick, and even if it was, they still have to attack a million times, which takes away from other units that, have to stack or get damage reduction or any of those other things on the team. Like, it, characters should cohesively go together and not take away from each other. That's not a good team if they're all constantly fighting for the same thing. That's dumb. That's not a good team. Now, granted, there are some exceptions. For example, the Vegeta and Trunks team. A lot of the units need to stack, a lot of the units need to get hit, whatever. At least as of right now, like all the best units, for example, the AGL Carnival Goku, Vegeta and Trunks, the 8th anniversary LRs, they all have to do something, and it's most of the same thing, where they need to super, they need to, get their stacks in that way, or they need to build up in some fashion, like by either getting hit or doing super attacks. Yes, this is all true. However, all of these units, stand alone, are some of the best units in the game, period. And even with all of them competing with each other, I'd say 8 to 9 times out of 10, you're going to be fine. Because they're just that strong. Like, they can carry a fight by themselves. You don't really have to worry about them. You just slap them on a team, they're that strong, and then they just go. they just get it done. But the Universe 6 teams, you're not doing that. You're not putting this team together that goes, oh yeah, we can just, one phase a boss, or we've got a dumb mechanic that allows us to make mistakes and whatever. No, it's all or nothing, right? Like, that's just how it is. And that's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's like, well, what are we to do? That's just how they make the game. I don't know why they do this. I don't know why they decide to fumble a lot of the units that, are coming out, just in general. I'm not talking about as of recent, but just throughout the years, it's like a common thing with this game. For some odd reason, they're scared to balance things in a way to make them too strong, but they are not afraid to make it too weak. And I can only see 2 reasons for that. One, they don't want to make the game not fun by basically making everything super duper strong, because then at that point, why even pull for certain cards versus another if they're going to do the exact same thing, right? Like, that's what makes the power dynamic in the game. If everything did a million supers, crit and dodged and guarded and all of that, that would be great, but at the same time it would be very detrimental, because then what would be the point of pulling different cards? But at the same time, there can also be an argument that's made, yeah, everything should be that way. Why? Because then you have fun collecting, right? It is much more fun of a game to collect everything that is strong. Because look at Pokemon, for example. Yes, there's not, Pokemon that are strong in every aspect, but they get stronger. It's natural. They do get stronger, and some of the weakest Pokemon when they first start out become retarded later. Like, they become absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's not even fair how strong some of them get. I don't know Pokemon like that, but this is just an example, right? But I get it, but at the end of the day, this is a company that is trying to make money. It is a business. So I understand why they do some of the things that they do, but at the same time, no, I don't. Because why would you do it this way when you could do it this way, right? Like, why make something that's absolute garbage that, like some of these banners, for example, when you pull for them, it's like, oh man, I can't wait to get the best unit in the game, and then their banner unit is trash. So it's a coin flip as to, when you get something new. It's like, oh man, did I get the new banner unit, or did I get this thing? This super dope unit. And then if the banner unit is trash, like what's the point? What's the point? And the problem that that stems from this is, for example, Android 17, his banner unit was trash. Let's be real, it was trash. Kale's banner unit, trash. He's not runnable in the hard fights, right? Where else would you use these characters if you're not using them in the hard fights? Where else are you using them? And don't sit there and try to say Battlefield's not a hard fight either, because later on, some of them Battlefield bosses be hitting. Come on, guys. Like, some of them be hitting. You can't sit there and tell me that they don't. I've been playing this game long enough, and I've got slapped enough times to know that, yes, some of these bosses don't play around. So please tell me, where are you going to use any of these units that are fodder? They're there just to fill in space. In which case, any unit that is coming out right now that is brand new to the game, whether it's a remade card or whatever, like, we're at a time now, every single card in the game should be strong and viable for the content that is currently in the game, especially if the content has already been established in the game. For example, the Cell Max event. You saw what they did with Vegeta and Trunks. They basically counter the Cell Max event significantly. Same thing with the Gammas and the Hero Team in general. Like, tell me right now that you couldn't take a Hero Team into the Cell Max event and wipe the floor with that guy. Like, it's, it's what it is. But at the same time, like, are you going to do that with Universe 6 right now? No. Are you doing that with a lot of other teams right now? No. And I understand that, buffs still need to come out and whatever. Like, I get it. They're trying to make this game the next game that you play for 30 years. Like, I get that. But at the same time, like, not everybody's going to stay consistent like this. They're trying to go, oh, if we make it too strong, then, there's no longevity to the game. Well, I mean, there's life cycles to everything. Eventually, this game is going to fall off. Eventually. But at the same time, no, maybe it won't. Because the Dragon Ball IP is so big that it's just like, well, will it fall off? Like, I don't know. I hope not. But, man, it's very weird. It is a very weird situation because, again, in my opinion, I feel like if they're going to keep pushing a meta and stuff like that, they should definitely make the units better. Especially the units that no one cares about. Like, right? Like, Kale is great. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not bashing Kale or anything like that, because she's actually incredible. Like, she's ridiculous. But the rest of her team is awful. And if they know that characters like this don't come out very often, wouldn't the intelligent thing to do would be, hey, let's make them stronger right now so that they are semi-future proof for the next, however long it would take for us to get another unit out. Right? That would make sense. But whatever, man. I don't run the game. I'm not a developer, and if I was, I would collaborate with The Truth and a few other people that play the game all the time, like myself. Yeah, we would try to make the game as best we could. But we can only do so much. We can only give so much input that they're going to take from us. But anyway, I'm done rambling for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments as to what I was saying. Like, am I wrong? Like, am I, like, tripping? Right? Like, is everything I'm saying justified? Right? But anyway, let me know, boys. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff for me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.